I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
I had no prior knowledge of the planned assault on Nancy Kerrigan.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
Oh, hello everyone. It's Hoops the Podcast. I'm Francis. He's Giulio.
What up, dog?
What's cracking?
What's cracking, dude?
What's
Nothing,
cracking?
man.
We're back. We're back in the stewed.
Cracking. We're back in
We're feeling
the
good.
studio.
High
bitch.
tech, high friendship reading. Friendship is good. Gotta have that.
Right.
Dude, when was the last time you got a new guy's phone number?
Recently.
Yeah?
Yeah. This guy who I sort of know, and he produced an event that I worked at where I performed, and he followed me on Instagram, and we started replying to each other's shit, and then we stayed in touch, and we ended up getting coffee, and now we're friends, and we exchanged phone numbers.
Good. That is a good story.
My friend George,
I like that.
he's a nice boy.
How'd you ask him? How'd you ask him for his number?
Well, we were planning on linking up at this coffee place, and I was like, yeah, come this time, whatever. I was like, here's my number. And then he texted me.
Wow.
Yeah.
You led the way. You put yourself out there, but you gave him your number. So it's still on him to text you.
Oh, got it. So okay. But what about you? Do you remember the last time?
Nope. I don't remember the last time, but I do remember a time where it felt weird.
Okay.
But was also because I think what I've learned is that the older you get, the more asking a guy for his phone number feels just as nerve-wracking as asking a girl.
It's really funny.
I definitely think that. I think it all converges.
Hey, man, let me get your number.
Let me get your number. We should hang out sometime. That's the same shit I said to girls when I was single.
I know.
And it's got that same butterfly feeling of I hope he doesn't reject me or think it's weird that I'm asking him for his phone number.
Well,
you know?
dude, listen to this. One time, a guy asked me for his number. It was my girlfriend's friend's boyfriend.
Okay.
He was a nice enough guy, whatever. So I was like, sure. I gave him my number. The next day, we're all out at at a bar, an outdoor bar in Santa Monica, and in the middle, we're all together in front of everybody. He goes, "Hey, man, why'd you give me your fake number?"
Oh.
And I'm like, "What do you mean? I gave you my real number." He's like, "Well, when I text you, it doesn't go through." He's like, "If you didn't want to give me your number, you didn't have to, man."
He went there?
Yes, in front of everyone. And I was like, "Hillary, come here. Isn't this my number?" I actually gave the guy my right number. I don't know if he added an extra space or something. It's still unclear to this day, but how uncomfortable is that?
Well, it's so strange that he would have just assumed. That to me is a guy who's been given a lot of fake numbers by guys. And it's traumatic for him.
What a niche problem.
I know. But dude, at some point, if you've been given your third fake number, maybe it's on you, pal. Maybe you need to back the fuck off and reconsider the way that you're getting these digits.
Well, yeah, dude, I hope that me and this guy can kind of, piece together our friendship again next time we see each other. I don't think it was an issue, I hope. I mean, I'm not that upset about it. It was
There
weird,
is
but
no scenario where it is acceptable for him to react that way. If you're a girl he wants to go on a date with
100%.
and you gave him a fake number or whatever, there's no, because if a girl gives you a fake number, that's the message. It's over. There's no why did you give me a fake number? It's you gave me a fake number, you weren't interested, but you didn't want to hurt my feelings, so be it.
Right.
Because most people don't want to say I don't really want to give you my number because I'm not interested in you.
Right. I mean, dude, it's a very weird thing.
Yeah.
And honestly, I can't believe that happened. I gave him my number.
Right.
You know what I mean? I actually gave him. I don't give my fake number.
I don't even know that I've never given a fake number to someone unless it was fucking City MD or something.
Well, dude, that's great. Well, dude, this is the other thing too. There's been times where comedians have asked me for my number, and I know they just want to like hit me up because at the time I was producing a show, whatever, and I'll literally be like, just hit me up on Facebook.
Yeah.
I bet it's easier just hit me up on Facebook.
Instagram
in a way that's
has
not
taken
insulting.
the place of DMs are now so used by both genders. It's like I have business conversations via DM with
Absolutely.
people. So that's funny.
Yeah.
But I do remember one time I was at a bar called Sidebar in New York City.
And dude, that's an institution.
It is an institution. And we used to go there on Sundays to watch football, and they would pack so many people into that place.
That place was crazy.
The concept of going to the bathroom was just daunting because the line would be so fucking long.
Totally.
Um,
That's the classic weekly birthday party destination, like we've talked about in other episodes.
would people have birthday parties there?
Sidebar, yeah. Not like a
Interesting.
dinner, but like
Yeah.
we're going to Sidebar for my
Dude,
birthday.
it was
Say
fun.
my name at the door.
Yeah, that period of life where we would go there every Sunday to watch football, and just all of a sudden it's the 4 p.m. game, and you're like, holy shit,
You're just
I am
blasted.
fucking rocked right now.
Francis hanging with Shane Gillis,
Yeah.
part 10, 4 p.m. blackout.
It was fun. It was fun. But I met a guy there, and he was a Duke lacrosse player. I don't think he was on the team when the crazy rape scandal happened. Or the fake rape scandal.
But he was
He had
cute?
played after, and he was really good. Like, he was an All-American. He'd won a national championship.
Cute.
Definitely cute.
Cute.
Stud. Also, this was at a point in life where, for whatever reason, a lot of my friends had started dating former Duke lacrosse player girls. There's this weird
That's weird.
fucking thing of like Harvard lacrosse guys dating and marrying Duke lacrosse girls. Dude, it's
like a
happened,
sorority fraternity
It's happened
situation.
so many times in my friend group and beyond that, like, you'd have to think that there's something weird going on.
Like you guys shared a formal.
Yeah, like that's that
Harvard
they're
Duke
they're
formal.
hopping on Bumble and being like, my preference is Duke lacrosse
Yeah,
girl.
right.
That's specific. Like, yeah.
So funny.
So that happened a bunch, and by meeting so many of these Duke lacrosse girls, we met a lot of their guy friends who were the Duke lacrosse guys, whom we didn't really know, but nice enough guys. We would see them out, and this one guy who, first of all, I'd heard his name so much in lacrosse circles, and lacrosse is like nobody cares. You know what I mean? It's like a sport that unless you're in it, nobody gives a shit about. It's like
Right.
swimming.
Very true.
More,
I would argue more so.
yeah,
Because at least swimming has the Olympics.
But let's say it's swimming outside of the Olympics.
Okay.
You wouldn't know
Correct.
people who weren't Olympic swimmers.
Absolutely.
Whereas in lacrosse, yeah, we
bubble.
would meet, or you'd say like, well, that guy was a total stud, but nobody else is impressed by that unless you you played, so you are. And that's how I felt about this guy. I was like, wow, that guy was really good at lacrosse, and I wonder what he's like as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And then we started talking, and we're at this bar, and it's one of those things where like, well, neither of us are there to talk to each other.
Mm-hmm.
We're not looking for guy friends.
You're not out
We're
cruising for
we're
guys.
looking to like make out with chicks or get chicks' phone numbers
Mhm.
or hang out with our buddies.
Mhm.
Right? So we're just sort of like standing near each other, and the conversation out of nowhere got good. It caught me by surprise. It wasn't basic, boring pleasantries.
Right.
It wasn't recounting lacrosse stories. It was funny observations of a like-mindedness
Mm-hmm.
where all of a sudden we were learning about each other over the din and hubbub of Sidebar.
Wow.
And next thing you know, we're talking about hanging out with each other. And I'm thinking, this is great. This is great. You're never too old to add guy friends.
Yeah.
I actually wrote a song about this once.
Yeah. You made a connection that transcended gender, man.
The song went, you're never too late to make new guy friends. If you're friends with a guy, it's a friendship for life. Something like that.
Very nice.
Yeah. And I once had a friendship with another. No. It was like, I once had a threesome with another guy. He took the front while I got behind. I've never been to Paris, but on my life, I saw the Eiffel Tower when we high-fived. Something like that.
It's
Yeah.
very sweet.
Yeah, it was really nice,
Very
but
sweet.
this is a little too sexual for this was not sexual. We didn't get there that day. But I got his number, or he got my number. I don't even remember how it happened. And in that moment, I remember thinking, wow, this hasn't happened in so long that it feels weird. Because like when you go to a new school or college and you're
You're
finding
meeting
yourself
people.
among a group of friends that you know that you're going to hang out with a lot, it's very natural to exchange phone numbers.
Mhm.
But this was a situation where there was no guarantee that we were ever going to see each other again. And yet we still wanted to, and we wanted to ensure that by exchanging phone numbers.
Mhm.
And we did, and then we never talked again.
How disappointing.
It was disappointing.
Did you feel let on?
Well, I've always thought about him.
Yeah.
I've thought about him a lot over the years.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what he's doing
The
now.
one that got away.
He is the one that got away. Ugh.
Yeah,
I
just
don't-
text him,
I
man.
don't even remember what his name is.
Wow.
But I could look up sick Duke lacrosse players.
post it on Misconnections on Craigslist.
I know.
You know, my blonde
Do you,
stallion.
do you spend any time on Craigslist? Do you ever fuck around on
I
there?
used to. Not
Like
anymore.
on that stuff? The personal
No,
stuff?
not on like Misconnections. or anything.
Shopping and whatnot.
What- Yeah, they got rid of it.
They got rid of it? It was leading to too much dangerous stuff. Huh.
Too sketchy, huh?
Interesting.
Too many murders.
Wow.
Fucked up. Well, dude, I had a couple of funny like outdoor eating
Oh,
situations.
good. Yeah, please.
Because now in New York, there's like outdoor eating everywhere, right?
Mhm.
And you can just fucking do that. But the problem is that, and I don't know why, there are different theories about this, but the kind of homeless population seems to have increased here
It's big time.
big time. And at first I was like, maybe it's just because there's less normal people out. It seems like there's a higher concentration. But somebody literally told me they let a lot of people out of jail because of COVID, and now they're just like on the streets or whatever.
Mhm.
So I don't know what exactly is happening, but I know that it definitely has spiced up some of my outdoor dining experiences and for people that I know. So the other night I'm at dinner, or I'm outside of the Comedy Cellar actually. I'm having drinks, and we had a little plate of hummus and pita. That was it. Because now you
Nice.
have to buy food.
Yeah.
A guy comes over, and he was presumably a homeless guy. The upper half of his shirt was soaking wet, and the
Okay.
bottom half was not.
Not a good start. I don't
Not
even
a
know how
great
that
start.
happens.
He
You
came
really
up-
can't wade into the water on your hands.
I don't know how he did it. It's
Do you know
impressive.
what I'm saying? You're
Yeah,
not walking
exactly.
in on a handstand.
He's not handstanding into the water to refresh himself. Yeah, dude, Jesus. So he comes over, and he's like, he asked us for money, and we say, sorry, which is fine. I mean, that's not ideal, but it's fine. But then he starts going, "You gonna eat that?" And we're like, "Dude, sorry. Are you gonna eat that?" And then he just reaches his hand under the table,
No.
grabs everything, the pita and the hummus, sticks it in his back pocket, and starts walking away. This guy was like big too, so like, not that I would ever start an altercation with a scrappy street person anyway, but he then starts walking away, and we're all like, "Fuck!" And then he turns back, and he comes up to me, and he takes his hand, and he places it on my shoulder, and goes, "Thanks, man." And I was like, and then just takes his hand off of me, and it was like really fucking extra, man.
Wow.
Like he touched me.
All right. I don't mean to make assumptions, but I will say this. If that guy had been in jail, he is a guy who does very well in jail.
Oh, just 'cause he's so assertive.
That guy
He was big.
takes what he wants. That is a guy who is coming from a place where nobody has checked him.
Right.
For him to
right.
do that to you.
I know.
I
Or
mean-
he'd been smoking meth, maybe. He seemed like a meth head or something,
Uh-huh.
which I didn't, I don't know.
What
Just
did you
that conf-
do?
Nothing. I did nothing. None of us did anything. And I was sitting with some like tough guys too, who like will be like, "Oh, if he did that to me, I'll fucking punch him," type of guys.
Mm-hmm.
No one did anything except we were just like, "This
Dude,
sucks."
you're powerless. You're
Yeah.
powerless.
And listen to this, dude. My girlfriend went to dinner the same night. A guy comes up to their table and projectile spits all over the table, and everybody got spit on them. In the time of COVID,
That's
he's
chemical
spitting
warfare.
on. It's literally chemical fucking warfare. And they had to get a new round of drinks, whatever. And she said that like morale recovered before the dinner was over. But can you imagine?
Yeah.
My friend goes, "Dude, I would have killed myself." I was like, "That's really funny." I would have immediately killed myself.
All right, guys. I'll let you split the bill. Good night.
I'm out of
That's
here.
it for me.
You guys got it. I only had drinks. I
Yeah.
didn't need anything.
Yeah.
It's on you.
God, dude, I mean, we have stories like this, and I have a story like this from this summer, and I don't really have many stories like this from the previous 9 years of living in New York.
Same.
I really don't. And I have two things that happened this summer, and I'm only going to add these because, I mean, those are horrific stories.
Those are bad. Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do. What can you do? Because if you stop him, you're worried, well, this person's crazy. They have nothing to lose, maybe. And maybe they have a knife, or maybe they're going to spit on me or whatever.
They probably can fight.
I don't want to fight this person.
Yeah.
Right? And so what are you supposed to do?
I don't know.
And this is, I think, one of the reasons why a lot of young people are leaving New York City.
Is it because of that? Because I feel
It's
like
one of the reasons.
I almost feel like all of them leaving to begin with is what made this possible. Like everybody leaving made it more conducive with like
I don't
street
know.
life.
I don't know if I agree with that.
So you think people were here and saw that and are like, we need to get out of here?
I think what happened, because this has happened to me, I think what happened was when we left the city for such a long period and then we came back, we started seeing things that we hadn't noticed before.
Right.
And one of those was, rampant homelessness.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe Rogan talks about this, why he left to go live in Texas.
Oh, right.
Says the homelessness in LA is out of control.
Mm-hmm.
And look, my heart goes out to homeless people.
Absolutely.
Let's start there. Let's start with, I don't think homeless people are just like doing it to themselves.
Right.
I don't think that they're lazy. I don't think that they are, whatever. So many homeless people have undiagnosed mental illnesses.
Absolutely.
They don't have access. They've been part of a broken system for too long. They grew up homeless. Like, what chance do they have?
Right.
I get that. And there needs to be more done. And I don't know if it's on the mayoral level or on the gubernatorial level. I don't know who's at fault.
Right.
But it certainly seems as if it's gotten a lot worse this summer.
Right. Specifically here.
Right.
And apparently in other places.
Right. So if anyone has any fucking idea what we could do theoretically to help fucking contribute to solving this issue, please let us know.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. We're not suggesting that we should exterminate the homeless population.
No.
Obviously, unpleasant things can happen.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that we're monsters
Exactly.
who hate homeless people.
But if you're feeling physically threatened,
Oh, yeah.
that is not a homeless issue. That is a criminal living issue, and
Right.
nobody should have to go through that.
Totally. Some restaurants are hiring security to stand on the sidewalk
Right.
because of that.
I mean, thank God.
Thank
as
fucking
they
God.
should.
I know.
And you know what's funny? You go to Europe, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you go and you eat at an outside cafe. And sometimes what you'll have is you'll have someone come through who tries to sell you like roses as
Mhm.
you're sitting there, or trinkets,
Mhm.
shitty little toys. And you kind of just say like, no, not interested. That's like their version of the guy who came and took your falafel.
That was crazy. Yeah. No, I know. It definitely seems tamer
Yeah.
in other places.
So
sometimes.
we, my point being, like, we came back to New York City and we started noticing that, and we had a couple interactions with some homeless people, and we were like, it was the first time where we thought, well, do we have to deal with that?
Right.
Because in New York, you sign up for that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because you hear people telling crazy stories. A guy on the subway today whipped his dick out and started jerking off. Like, well, that's New York.
Right. Exactly.
And now it's like, well, is New York me?
Right.
That's what happened to me.
Right.
Where I was like, Maine, I grew up there. And then I've spent a couple months there now as an adult for the first time in my life. And you don't have bags of trash ripped open on the sidewalk and left to perfume the street.
Totally.
What is that about?
Yeah. New York's always been a
Why
little
is there
stinky.
trash everywhere?
I know.
Who is going into these trash cans and just going "Brrr,"
Right.
and shaking the contents out on the street? Who are these people walking their dogs in decent neighborhoods letting them shit and not cleaning it up.
I know.
People don't, there's too many people here that you just have enough people not abiding by the like, let's not make it worse.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not my problem. I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm going to treat this place like my own personal dump site.
Right.
And it fucking sucks.
It sucks. Absolutely.
It's not that nice. And so, you know, I don't know.
What to do?
Schultz was talking about it on his podcast too. Schultz and Akash. They were like, these, you know, we for so long we sucked up. We paid the life tax of discomfort, of dealing with homeless people, of having these crazy interactions, paying crazy elevated rents, all because we needed access to comedy clubs, or all because our professional network was here.
Right.
That's what you sign up
The
for.
sacrifice.
And if the accessibility to comedy clubs and the opportunities, the professional opportunities are not there, which they aren't right now,
What's the point?
why would you be paying this shit?
I know.
Anyway,
It's a very good point, dude.
our homeless interaction, we had a guy come up to us and, you know, we were out getting a cupcake. A cupcake or two.
What a hilarious,
Everyone's gonna
contrast.
say, oh, everyone's always like, you're so white. It's like, yeah, I know. What do you want me to say? I know my race.
No, but also getting a cupcake is like the sweetest thing you can be
Yeah,
doing,
we're
no
out-
pun intended. And like to have like a disgusting interaction happen there is such a funny contrast.
Yeah, we didn't go out preparing for battle, right?
Right,
we were comfortable buying cupcakes, probably high. And a guy came up to us. Yeah, here in New York. Yeah. So this was like when I was last year, like a month ago. And a guy came up to us and said, you know, he starts pitching us. So it wasn't just a quick like ask. We couldn't just be like, sorry. It was, hey, you know, here's who I am. I don't have mental illness. He like made a point to say that. No, I'm sorry. I'm getting my own story wrong. He told us he was mentally ill. He was like, I have this disorder, this, but I'm still fighting it. You know, and you know, you almost want to be just like, you know, get to the point. Like, I know what's coming. And at the end, he sort of asked us for money. And to just end the conversation, you pay a toll.
Right.
I gave him $2. And then he was like, is that all? That's all you're going to give me?
That's so much.
And, he, you know, it's one of those things where like I opened my wallet and tried not to show that maybe I had $15 in there. And they're so aggressive. And I'm with my girlfriend and I don't want to.
You don't want to seem
You're
cheap.
nervous.
Right.
And so I gave him this money and eventually he like left us alone. But then he kept patrolling up and down the street as we were like trying to eat our cupcake. Just fucking cast a pall over the whole
the
excursion.
cupcake experience. And dude, and obviously $2 isn't a lot in the scheme of things, but like if you gave every person who asked you for money $2, that would add up to extremely significant amount.
It's not even the money. It's the feeling nervous.
Right. No, it's not great.
Being made to feel nervous and this guy wasn't wearing a mask, you know, and we're like wearing masks. It's that. It's having someone in your fucking face
Right.
who's a stranger talking to you when you don't want that to be happening
Absolutely.
at all.
Absolutely.
You know, homeless or not, I wouldn't want some random person coming up to me. So, God, dude, I don't know. And then did I tell you that around that same time, my girlfriend left for the weekend. I was left to look after the dog. We were here in the apartment. I took him out for a walk one day. I'm walking down the street. This is a block from my apartment here in Chelsea. And I saw this, I don't even know how to put this. A man dressed as a woman.
Okay.
But like committed to it. You know, it was clearly like this is my life now.
Okay.
I don't know what the politically correct term for that person is. It at one point,
Transitioning, perhaps.
yeah, but I don't even know if they would say they were transgender. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, gotcha.
It used to be cross-dresser. I think that was outdated.
okay.
Hermaphrodite is definitely not PC anymore. So I have no idea what you're supposed to say.
Okay.
About
Guy
this
dressed
person.
as a woman.
But a guy dressed as a woman.
A guy dressed in clothes conventionally worn by a woman.
And it was like cut off jean shorts with the pockets coming below. A fucking midriff showing tank top.
Gotcha.
Like a wife beater that was a crop top.
Little belly button ring.
Yeah, you know, a happy trail. And all the body hair is still there. A shitty little mustache. and then maybe like some kind of wig. And I'm walking the dog on the sidewalk, and I make eye contact with this person, and he I don't know if I'm supposed to say he looks at me, and I'm like, I can tell he's staring at me as I'm approaching, and I'm like, this person, something's gonna happen here. And right when I get up to like almost arm's reach, he reaches out and tries to flick my face.
Oh my God.
And fortunately, I saw this coming, and I was like, I knew something was going to happen. So I like matrixed away from it and like limboed under his or her arm.
Spider-Man.
And then that person just went back to having a conversation with whoever he or she was talking to. And I got to the crosswalk. I started walking across the street, and some guy behind me who was walking with his girlfriend came up to me and goes, "Did you know that guy?" And I go, "No." And he goes, "Oh, this neighborhood's getting worse."
Mm-hmm. Amen, brother.
And I was like, "Thanks for your contribution, dude. Be a great CNN
He's like,
anchor,
"Man,
you know?"
that sucked for you, dude.
So those are the kinds of things that happen here that you just sort of accept, I guess, but they've been happening more often. I don't really,
Yeah.
you know, you hear about the shootings going up, the crime, all of that. It's like, dude,
It's
I
not
don't know,
great.
man.
Tough times.
I don't know.
It's starting to feel like we need Batman or something.
Great point.
You know what I mean? Like it feels like Gotham City a little bit.
There was an HBO, it might have been a Vice on HBO thing about vigilante superheroes in
Great.
Bushwick
Hilarious.
who would actually like put on costumes and patrol the streets and try to enforce safety.
Wow.
But they all were like trained MMA. They were the real fucking deal.
Wow.
And I was all for it.
Yeah. Sounds good.
You know what I mean? I was all for it. Did I tell you about the hit and run I witnessed?
No.
I didn't. I mentioned it in the last episode, but we didn't
We
talk,
didn't
about,
talk
it.
about it.
This was in Portland, though.
Okay.
So this is interesting. I'm in Portland. This is after, you know, the night after we went and looked at the apartments. We were waiting to get into a restaurant. You put your name on a list, you go walk around, and you come
Mhm.
back and eat. We're walking back to the restaurant because we'd gotten the text message saying, "Hey, your table's ready. Show up in 15 minutes." As we were waiting to cross the street, down the street at the next light, there was an intersection, and I heard a big crash,
Jesus.
like a huge crash, not a pop. This is what it was. It was a motorcycle falling to the ground,
Mhm.
and that makes a big crash. I mean, there's a lot of parts hitting the ground,
Mhm.
and then I heard screaming.
Oy.
And I'm like trying to find it with my eyes. I focus. I see the motorcycle on the ground. I figure out what I'm looking at. And then I see a car peel out and speed off down the street. And then the car behind it peel out and speed off down the street.
Wow.
Both of those cars were together. It was clearly like friends or siblings or whatever driving, and, you know, they were both in on it.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a huge crowd of people watching
Jesus.
this. So now I'm hearing screaming, right? From the person who was on the motorcycle. And it was a woman,
Oh my God.
no helmet,
Oy.
driving a Harley, what looked like a Harley. I don't really know motorcycles that well, but it was like one of those big kind of ornate, lots of bells and whistles
chopper?
motorcycles. It was not like a Ducati. Yeah, it was a leisure mobile, you know.
Oh, it had like the coolers in the back.
Yeah,
type
like
of thing.
tons of mirrors.
Yeah.
Tons of mirrors. Not a sidecar, but you could probably hook one up.
Right.
The sort of motorcycle you could ride with your cat.
Yes.
Yeah. So, you know, this is on the ground. She's now rolling around on the asphalt. I jogged down because I'm like, I'm an eyewitness. I'm excited about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And someone at the scene had taken a photo of the license plates.
Mm.
But this is the thing. When you witness a hit and run like this or an accident in the street, everybody wants to tell their version of what they saw.
Right.
And there's currency among that hubbub of the people in the know versus the people out of the know.
Right.
Because instantly the lines. You ever watch golf where a ball lands in the rough and then the crowd comes in
Yes.
and surrounds the ball and then it starts spreading out from there?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was like in an accident. And the
Interesting.
outer rings of people had not witnessed what had happened. So they're all asking the inner
Trying to
rings
find out.
what happened. And I wanted to start being like, well, this is what happened. This is what I saw. And the problem was there were people more privileged with information than I was.
Who knew more?
And I started getting jealous.
That you didn't have a picture.
I
of it.
was jealous of the people who had been closer to the accident because I knew that within minutes, police were going to show up,
Mm-hmm.
and there's nothing cooler than being the guy providing the police report,
Right.
the eyewitness testimony. You know,
Breaking
I
the
was
scoop.
right there. I watched it. I even have a photo of the fucking license plate on my phone. Check this shit out. Right? I mean, that guy is the celebrity of
That's
that
the big
moment.
guy. Yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
the big guy.
Absolutely.
Have you ever given an eyewitness report to police?
I don't remember.
Because I've done it, and it feels good. It feels really good.
Feel like you're helping?
You just feel like you're sitting on information that is going to change lives in a big way. You feel like God.
Right. And it's
You're-
funny you say this because I remember there's been times where my parent was driving and they got kind of like tapped and the person drove up or whatever. And like someone nearby always comes by and is like, hey, if you need a witness, I saw what happened.
Exactly.
Always.
People want to be part of the justice system. Citizen detectives. This is what leads
yeah.
to like all true crime reporters, like the don't fuck with cats people.
Right.
And,
Right.
you know, all of that. Even the woman Michelle McNamara started
yeah?
out like that. You know,
Right.
investigating the Golden State Killer. So it's a fascinating thing to figure out and watch the hierarchy develop of information holders of an accident or an injustice. And also fucking crazy to watch two cars hit and run.
Yeah. Were they like racing? Was it like, you ever see those two cars just weaving in and out of traffic together?
No. They hit the front car hit the woman on the motorcycle, stopped for a second, and then peeled out. And then the car behind them was like, I guess this is what we're doing, and peeled out too.
And is there any shot it was like intentional?
No.
I
don't think so because the woman on the motorcycle there's just no chance that she was like part of what they were doing.
Right.
But here's the crazy thing about this scene. The person in the front car made the decision for the person behind them that we are hitting and running.
Right.
And then what? What does the person in the back car do? If they stay, they're throwing their buddy under the bus. They're like, wait a minute, I'm not fucking committing a felony. I'm not going to be accessory to your hit and run. I'm going to go through the proper legal channels and provide an explanation of what happened, which would mean explaining who you are, by the way.
Unfortunately.
So in that split second, that person made a very selfish decision.
Very much.
And said, like, we're fucking going and you're coming with us. And then they both went.
And now that second person is implicated.
And yeah.
Crazy, dude.
Anyway.
Dude, yeah. That's crazy. I mean, hit and runs are fucked up. So I wish that person didn't do that, but hopefully they got caught.
I think they definitely did. If you have a picture of the license plate, it's
you're toast.
hard to imagine they didn't.
So, we got a couple questions here from a listener, and they're pretty basic, but I thought that they were interesting.
Fun.
And that people might like to know this stuff. So, and this person, Connor, actually phrased this as something we could do for an episode. I think he's overestimating how interesting we are. But he says, can we have an episode about y'all's difference of life? Fashion, morning routines, coffee, how you pee, undo belt or undo zipper. You guys rock. Thank you, Connor. But these are some good questions. And I think specifically the pee one and maybe morning routine and coffee.
Yeah.
The things that we can attack. You seem to me like a morning routine guy. You've alluded to the fact that perhaps you are a bit.
Yeah. But it's an amorphous routine. It shifts. It doesn't, I'm not so reliant on a routine that to deviate from it would throw me into a tailspin.
Do you mean that it kind of evolves?
Yeah, it just like, some days it's this and some days I'll throw this in there. But there are a few pillars.
Let's hear it.
All right. So
Overnight oats.
Well, right. So that's another thing that's shifted. But it is always a version. I always eat breakfast. I eat breakfast every morning.
Immediately after waking up?
Pretty soon.
Right.
Pretty soon. I try to eat breakfast before 9.
Cool.
Because that sets me up for 3 more meals of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I really try to eat 4 square meals a day.
Love it.
Which is something different. I don't think a lot of people do that. So I eat my breakfast, and lately it's been flax oatmeal with a banana that I cut over it. I pour chia seeds and flaxseed on top, and then I use oat milk, and I microwave it before I put the banana in for 1 minute and 30 seconds. And then if I'm really feeling naughty, I'll sprinkle a little bit of granola on top as a topping.
You
Add
naughty
a nice
boy.
crunch.
You naughty
a little
little
bit
boy.
of sugar. Yeah, I do. That is a little bit of sugar there.
What about coffee?
Coffee, I like iced. I like cold coffee. Whether it's cold brew, I've really gotten into this Grady's cold brew concentrate, which I like quite a bit, and I'll mix that with oat milk over ice, or I'll drink an iced oat milk latte with an extra shot of espresso if we're going out for coffee.
Dude, awesome.
Those are my coffee choices,
It's
but it's
lovely.
got to be cold, and I don't put any sugar in it. And then I always shower every morning. I brush my teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Do you brush your teeth before or after you eat?
Before.
Interesting, yeah. Because Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura were talking about this on their podcast, and they had very differing opinions. And to me, it actually makes more sense to brush your teeth after you've eaten breakfast.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time, I'll do it before.
Yeah, if I were to start doing that, I would just start forgetting to brush my teeth.
Exactly.
So I
By
try.
that
I do it
point-
right away. Also, I probably am like, I usually the first time I go into the bed to the bathroom in the morning, even if I'm going to get back in bed, I'll usually brush my teeth so that I don't feel guilty about speaking into my girlfriend's face.
Well, if you know you're going to bask together, if you're going to lounge together,
typically
yes,
bask.
it is nice to have mouths fresh
Fresh
for
mouths.
some morning canoodling, soft, gentle kisses,
Absolutely.
all of that. That's
All the
really
good
nice
stuff.
to have a fresh mouth.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
And what about peeing? Do you undo your belt or undo your zipper?
I think I don't. Yeah, it's like over the fence or through the wickets or something.
Correct.
I'm an over the fence guy.
Me too.
I flop it all out.
I think it's because I no longer wear boxers. I wear boxer briefs,
Mm-hmm.
and it's hard to, the zipper thing. You end up having to pull down your underwear
Yeah.
anyway, so I undo my pants.
I shot a sketch about this at Barstool.
Really?
Yeah. And we also put up a poll on Twitter where I asked people about their preference. I had something like 24,000 people respond to the poll. Dude, the vote was 51 to 49%.
Whoa, that's fucking nuts.
It was so split.
Dude, you know what's funny? That sound like, I wonder what degree of those 51 and 49 are the people who just pull their pants all the way down in public
Dude,
with their
I did
ass
that-
showing. I
the
love
last
that.
time
When I see a guy doing that, I'm like, you're the fucking man, dude.
The last time I did that was in second grade. I was at Freeport Public School, or it was first grade, and I went to a urinal, and I didn't have much experience with urinals, and I went up, and I pulled my pants all the way down, started peeing, and some kid behind me goes, "Not all the way," and I was so mortified that I never did it again.
Dude, that's a great prank to play on somebody who you don't know that well. If you both go to the bathroom,
Yeah.
just pull your pants all the way down and then don't even do a smirk about it. Be like, all right, let's pull them up. That's great, dude. That's really fucking funny. All right, so my morning routine, I've gotten into a little bit of a morning routine during this.
Good.
I will usually stay in bed until the stock market opens at 9:30. I know
Wow.
it's technically 9, but 9:30 is when the action starts happening in my app. So I'll look, I see, I'm like, okay, this is a good start today, bad start today, whatever. Then I'll get up. In New York City, I have been buying my coffee every morning, which is getting a little expensive.
Adds up, dude.
I'm only going to be here for a couple weeks. I have no problem with that, whatever. But it ends up being $6,
Sure does.
which is a lot. But I've been drinking a rum-infused cold brew.
Oh my
doesn't have any alcohol in it.
God.
It's boiled off or whatever.
Where are you getting this?
At this place called, I think it's called 787. It's this Puerto Rican, called Puerto Rican Coffee or whatever. It's on 6th Street and 2nd Avenue, New York City. It's fantastic. The first time I've ever like known the people working at a place.
Mm-hmm.
And rum infused cold brew. They also have mint infused cold brew,
Jesus.
and it's delicious.
You ever have CBD cold brew?
I haven't really. CBD makes me like really dehydrated.
It doesn't
and
do anything for me.
I don't like the way it feels.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's pretty much the entirety of my morning routine. Thanks,
Nice.
Connor.
Okay.
But yeah. And
Does
then
that?
from
What
there,
time do you wake up?
8:30, 8.
So you're in bed for an hour, hour and a half.
I'll sit around and fuck around on my phone for an hour.
See, dude, that is just, and I don't mean to judge because
Please.
I've done that. I really try to avoid that.
Just sitting in bed.
It just you can lose so much time fucking
Very
around
true.
on your phone.
It's very true.
And I've been trying to keep my daily screen time below 3 hours.
You're very good at it. From what
I am. It's
understand.
last week's average was 2 hours and 42 minutes. I had both weekend days. It was like 1 hour and 10 minutes.
Wow.
And I think it's easier when you're, up in Maine or whatever. But one of the easiest ways to try to cut back on your screen time is to not allow yourself
To do that.
to extend that bed, phone, fuck around time. That is where I lose so much time, dude.
I feel you. So to play a devil's advocate with that, I don't like. What if I don't care about my screen time?
Well, then you have to think about how much time of your day are you wasting in bed.
Right.
If you didn't have your phone, would you just lie around with your thoughts for an hour and a half?
I don't know. Like, I feel that that's an early, like, I'm used to starting my day later, like before COVID. So now I feel like since I'm up early, it doesn't bother me.
I try to look at the bed as a recharging station.
Right.
So if I'm in there, I should either be sleeping or reading or doing something positive.
That's recharging.
Yeah. And lounging with your girlfriend I think that's positive too.
Okay.
But fucking around on your phone, to me is like it pollutes the sanctity of the bed, the headspace of the bed in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns it to me into another place of distraction. And when I'm looking at my phone, no matter what, it just makes me, whether I realize it or not, it's making me more anxious. There's information that's flooding in.
Mm-hmm.
I go to the New York Times app. It's all fucking horrific headlines.
Totally.
America hits 5 million cases. Donald Trump is a white supremacist, whatever. Like all this shit. And I'm just like, God, I mean, that's not what I want before bed.
No, totally. I understand that. But I will say that in general, I have way less anxiety than I used to, even though it's COVID time, just because the pace of my life has slowed down so much that burning a little bit of time on the phone, which I actually don't even see as burning, I'm enjoying myself. I don't hate that.
Fine.
I get what you're saying, and I agree. And I think that the mornings where I like get started early and I'm doing all my stuff, I feel fantastic.
Right.
So I think that's something worth trying to recreate for sure, but I'm not that upset.
I'm
about
definitely not of the Mark Wahlberg school of thought where you wake up
3
at
a.m.
3 a.m. and,
crazy.
greet the fishermen on their way out and then play 18 holes of golf in the dark and then get your workout. It's not that I don't hop out of bed the minute I wake up. I will also say I never need an alarm. Never wakes me up anymore. I set an alarm.
Same.
It never wakes
Same,
me
dude,
up.
Same. I
I'm
feel like a little
always
child.
up before
Same
my alarm.
time.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But like this morning, yeah, I set my alarm for 8:15. I woke up at 8, got out of bed at 8:10, and hopped in the shower, did my stuff, and then I went to Whole Foods and had all my groceries for the week, and was back in the apartment before 9.
That's great. So you're not gonna eat out of the house at all once.
Dude, I am on a save money kick.
It's great.
it's-
I've been really bad since I've been back in the city. I need to get back on it.
It requires much more discipline when you're in New York City, but
Yes.
it is possible. I bought my coffee at Whole Foods for the week. I'm
Right.
holding myself to that. I'm cooking all my dinners at home, trying to eat lunches at home. Because in
Great.
Maine, I do it, and it's like, well, what's the fucking difference?
I know. No, dude, it's a good
The
point.
difference is you have to get in a car to go spend money.
Right.
And that
Which
is
somehow
enough.
is easier.
No, I'm saying
easier to like, exactly. So
Yeah.
like, because you're driving,
you don't do it as much.
you don't go, like going to pick up food's a pain in the ass.
Right.
Whereas it's the same as going to the grocery store. Whereas here, going to the grocery store is more inconvenient than just going to pick up.
And I think like, the cosmopolitan nature of New York City leads to everyone saying, well, let's catch up. And what's our default catch up? It's drinks.
Dinner and drinks, yes.
Dinner and drinks, especially, now. Whereas that should be, for most people, a special occasion.
Oh, totally. Totally.
Not like, I don't want to cook tonight or whatever. Like, there's a great restaurant on the corner. It's only $170. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so expensive. I got to be better about that.
Yeah. Cool. Well, guys, this has been a great week of podcasting. We've enjoyed ourselves very much, and thanks for asking about us. We'll be back soon next week. Thanks for joining us. Send anything and everything, questions, concerns, any piece of topic that we've talked about that you want to contribute to oopsapodcast@gmail.com. We will address it.